30 years ago, a woman in a red dress walked into a room and changed cinema forever. Pretty Woman wasn't just a love story. It was a dream that made us believe in second chances. And now, after 3 decades, that dream is walking back into our lives. The lights of Beverly Hills are brighter, the music softer, and somewhere out there. Vivian's story isn't finished yet. Once upon a time, there was a girl who didn't fit in, a girl with a wild heart, a bright smile, and a story the world couldn't ignore. In 1990, Julia Roberts brought that girl to life in Pretty Woman, and audiences around the world fell in love. Her laughter was infectious, her charm unforgettable, and her transformation from a lost soul to a woman who believed in love became a modern fairy tale. Richard Gere's Edward was the perfect opposite. Calm, wealthy. Polished, a man who thought he had everything until he met her. Together, they taught us that love can break walls, rewrite destinies, and turn even the unlikeliest meeting into something magical. The story of Vivian and Edward wasn't about perfection. It was about finding beauty in imperfection. It reminded us that no matter who we are or where we come from, everyone deserves a happy ending. As the years passed, Pretty Woman became more than a film. It became a feeling, one that stayed alive in the hearts of millions. Its laughter, its tears, that unforgettable shopping scene, the elevator doors closing on a promise of forever, all of it became part of cinema history. And even after 30 years, fans still ask, what happened next? Did the fairy tale last? Did Vivian find her happily ever after? Now, those questions are about to be answered. Pretty Woman 2 isn't just a sequel, it's a return to that dream. A journey through time where love matures, faces change, but the heart remains the same. Julia Roberts steps back into a world that once defined her, carrying with her the wisdom, scars, and grace of 3 decades. This isn't just nostalgia, it's rebirth. And the city that once gave her love is ready to tell her story again. The city hasn't changed much. Streets still glitter under the same neon glow. The same breeze dances down Rodeo Drive. And somewhere in that rhythm, the past whispers softly. We remember her, the girl with fire in her soul and stars in her eyes. The one who once stood at the corner of hope and heartbreak, Vivian Ward. Her laughter still echoes through time, and her story still lingers like perfume in a hotel lobby. She was more than just a pretty face in a red dress. She was courage wrapped in vulnerability, a reminder that love can bloom in the most unexpected places. Cut 2 flashes of old memories, the limousine door opening, a single rose on the pillow, a smile that spoke louder than words. That was Pretty Woman, a moment frozen in gold. A time when movies weren't just watched, they were felt. And for millions, Vivian became the symbol of transformation, proof that dreams, no matter how distant, can find their way home. But as the years passed, the world changed. The city that once sparkled with promise now hums with a different tune. Yet somewhere, in a quiet corner of Beverly Hills, a woman walks by, her footsteps confident, her eyes holding stories untold. Is it her? Could the fairy tale be finding its way back? Pretty Woman 2 invites us to feel that heartbeat again, to return to the laughter, the music, and the magic of believing. It's not about reliving the past, but reimagining it. Because when a story is built on love, it doesn't fade, it waits. And after 30 years, that wait is finally over. Vivian's world is opening its doors once more, and this time, it's not just a story of love found, but love remembered. The world has changed, and so has she. The Hollywood streets that once shimmered with dreams now glow with memories. The laughter, the love, the heartbreak, all of it lives somewhere between the glint of a city light and the silence of a luxury suite. Vivian Ward is no longer the girl searching for her place in someone else's story. She's a woman who has lived, lost, and learned. The red dress has been replaced by quiet elegance, the sparkle in her eyes deeper, wiser. Time didn't take away her magic, it simply reshaped it. The camera glides through the city, past high-end boutiques and quiet cafes until it finds her, a silhouette by a window overlooking Los Angeles. Her reflection in the glass isn't of the past, but of a woman standing between who she was and who she's become. She smiles faintly, almost knowingly, as if she can still hear the echo of a voice that once said, "I want the fairy tale." In Pretty Woman 2, Vivian's story steps into a new era. She's built her own empire, mentoring young women who remind her of herself 30 years ago, strong yet searching. But fate has a strange way of circling back. A familiar name reappears in her life when she thought she'd left behind with the closing elevator doors all those years ago. The sound of polished shoes on marble floors, a voice she hasn't heard in decades. Suddenly the past doesn't feel so far away. This isn't just about romance reborn. It's about rediscovery of love, of strength, and of the woman she has always been. The fairy tale that began with a chance meeting now unfolds as a story of choice. Does she still believe in the magic of forever? Or has she found something even stronger herself? The streets of Beverly Hills glow once again, not just with the glimmer of wealth, but with the quiet power of a woman who has lived her fairy tale and is ready to write her own ending. Every fairy tale has a moment when the magic fades, when the music quiets, and the heart begins to question what comes next. For Vivian Ward, that moment arrives with a whisper from the past, one unexpected message, one familiar face, and suddenly the world she built so carefully begins to tremble. Edward Lewis, the man who once lifted her from the streets to the stars, has returned. But he's not the same man who promised forever. Time has carved its lessons into them both, and love, once so effortless, now stands at the crossroads of memory and reality. She looks at him across a crowded room, the distance between them filled with everything they never said. There's no limousine this time, no grand gestures, no elevator doors waiting to close. Just two souls trying to understand if what they had was love, or a dream they both outgrew. The city seems quieter, as if holding its breath for them. Even the lights of Beverly Hills flicker with nostalgia. Vivian finds herself torn between two worlds, the woman she was, and the woman she's become. Her heart remembers the softness of his voice, the warmth of that final kiss. But her mind knows love isn't the same after 30 years. It's deeper, heavier, realer. And as she stands by the window once more, looking out at the skyline that once symbolized her freedom, she wonders, can you truly fall in love with the same person twice? In Pretty Woman 2, the conflict isn't just between two lovers, it's between time and emotion, between dreams and reality. Vivian's story asks a question we all fear. What happens when your happy ending comes back, but you're no longer the same person who wished for it? The answer won't come in diamonds or champagne, but in the courage to face the truth that love isn't about being saved. It's about choosing to stay. The city lights shimmer once more. The orchestra swells softly, and a tear glints in the corner of her eye. Not of sadness, but of acceptance. Because some fairy tales don't end, they simply grow up. The night falls gently over Los Angeles, painting the skyline in gold and velvet. The same city that once witnessed a love story is now ready to tell it again. Not as a copy, but as a continuation. A limousine glides down the avenue, its headlights slicing through memory. Somewhere behind tinted glass, a familiar melody begins to play, faint, fragile, and hauntingly beautiful. It must have been love. Drifts softly in the background, and suddenly, 30 years feel like a heartbeat. Vivian Ward stands at the edge of the same hotel balcony where she once found her courage. The wind catches her hair, the city sparkles beneath her, and for the first time in years, she smiles. Not for a man, not for a dream, but for herself. In that moment, we realize Pretty Woman 2 isn't about returning to the past. It's about rewriting it. It's about second chances that come not from magic, but from growth. The screen fades to flashes of symbolism. A pair of red heels stepping onto marble floors. A diamond necklace glinting in soft light. A phone call unanswered, and a single rose placed by a window. The music swells, strings lifting the emotion higher. Then, a voice older, wiser, familiar, whispers, "Sometimes the fairy tale doesn't end. It waits." Cut to black. A heartbeat. Then, the golden letters appear. Pretty Woman 2, coming soon. The silence that follows feels heavy, filled with memory and promise. For fans, it's not just a movie returning, it's a feeling reborn. Julia Roberts, stepping back into the role that made her immortal, brings with her the grace of time and the strength of survival. The fairy tale lives on not because the story stayed the same, but because love, in all its forms, still matters. And as the lights fade, one final whisper lingers in the dark, because some fairy tales never really say goodbye. The screen fades to black, but the heartbeat of the story still lingers. A single spotlight cuts through the darkness, illuminating the symbol of a rose, timeless, fragile, yet full of life. Its petals fall slowly, each one carrying a memory, a moment, a whisper from the past. And then her voice, calm, confident, and full of quiet strength. It wasn't just about the prince. It was about finding myself. That's the essence of Pretty Woman 2, a fairy tale that no longer waits to be rescued but chooses. A fairy tale that no longer waits to be rescued but chooses to rise. The magic that once came from chance meetings and grand gestures now comes from something purer: growth, forgiveness, and rediscovery. The woman we once knew as a dreamer has become the dream itself. She walks not in search of love, but with it within her. As the final notes of the theme swell, we see a montage, the city lights blurring into a golden horizon, the laughter of strangers echoing through the streets, and Vivian's reflection in a shop window, smiling softly at her own journey. The years have changed her, but the spark remains, a reminder that beauty doesn't fade with time. It deepens with every story lived. The final title appears in glowing gold letters. Pretty Woman 2, a new story begins. Then, silence. A breath, and one last line, whispered like a secret meant only for those who still believe. Fairy tales don't end when the credits roll. They live on, in every heart that dares to love again. The rose falls to the ground, its petals scattering like memories, and as the music fades, the world of Pretty Woman closes its curtain once more, only to promise that somewhere, somehow, love will take the stage again.